welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is going to be a reading for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the week of November 22nd to the 28th. Okay, so we're going to start with the White Light Oracle. I'm going to cut the deck, take a card, and we're going to read that at the end of your reading as your final guiding messages. Okay, now let's jump in here and see what are the supporting messages and the major themes here, the guiding messages and major themes, excuse me, and for Scorpio for November 22nd to the 28th, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, as they move through their week. What are the major themes and guiding messages? Okay, we got a number of them here. Let's see. All right. The answers you need are coming. Okay. Bring love into the situation. Meditation and contemplation, and a time for healing. Okay, very good messages here for you, Scorpio. Now, let's see here. Communication is key, is on the bottom of the deck. So I feel like Scorpio is going to have a conversation, but first you're going to need to think about things a little bit to be clear. This is going to be a time for healing, and you could receive some answers that will assist you, maybe some questions that are lingering in your mind about something. Last Scorpio reading, we saw that there was a really big energy around reviewing the past to understand the self deeper, right? And so perhaps from that reflection that you had last week, you are starting to move into a time where you're going to go for this conversation and have a conversation with someone, or perhaps this communication that's so key is really your inner dialogue, because it is a time for healing. And you're needing to bring love into the situation as you move through that healing energy. But I do kind of feel like you're going to be having a conversation with someone, or perhaps it's with your higher self, and you're going to understand something that you're seeking, right? You're seeking some answers right now, and what you're seeking is seeking you. So perhaps you're going to be having some illuminations this week because of last week's deep sort of introspection that we picked up on in your reading last week. Okay, Scorpio, so what will be the supporting energies here as you move through this week of more contemplation, healing, bringing love into a situation, and perhaps having a talk with yourself or a talk with someone else in order to understand some answers that you're seeking. Now, we'll start with the bottom of the deck here. We have abundance. Okay, so there is a very beautiful feeling that comes with this supporting energies here. We see abundance, we see pleasure, we see openness, flexibility, and freedom. I think Scorpio is going to be set free very soon from whatever it is that's haunting you about your past. Something is haunting you, Scorpio. We picked up on that last week, and I feel like now, after you took the time to sort of reflect on things, you're being guided to be open and flexible, right? Because freedom, pleasure, and abundance are your future. I feel like the outcome to the situation that you're facing that has sort of catalyzed and brought in this need to be so introspective and to heal, whatever it is that catalyzed this time to heal for you, I feel is going to bring you into freedom, bring you into pleasure, provide you with all the answers you're seeking. But love, abundance, openness, and flexibility need to be part of your mindset. Those are going to be important factors here, because I really, we're going to jump into the tarot to see, is this a conversation that you're going to be having with someone else or with yourself? Is this a conversation you're having with your higher self, or is it one that you're having with another person? And last week when we saw that Scorpio was really looking at their past, trying to understand the wisdom of some things that had happened that seemed to be unknown to Scorpio, like what it was intention. You were questioning your intentions last week. So this week, let's see where you're at for Scorpio. Sun, Moon, and Rising for November 22nd. Seven of Swords, first card out. So yeah, you're addressing some deception, some self-deception or deception from someone else, or perhaps the way something was handled in the past that you felt was now, upon reflection, a bit deceptive. Okay, Scorpio? The thing creating a block for you is the fact that, man, there is something you have as your ultimate wish here. And your ultimate wish and this deception are working against each other. Okay, so there is something that's not completely out in the open yet. The Seven of Swords. Something is still hidden from you. And maybe those are the answers that you are seeking that you will receive. So you're questioning about something that seems a little fishy, frankly, with this Seven of Swords is the present moment. And the thing creating an obstacle is that you sort of have a wish about this. You have attached a meaning to this situation, and that's creating the block. Believe it or not, sometimes this card can create an obstacle when we're too attached to one outcome. Okay? If we're too attached to one outcome, then are we really being open? Are we really being flexible? No, you're not. When you're attached to an outcome, that's it. That outcome becomes very meaningful. And I feel like you are being sort of challenged by some meaning you've attached to an outcome here. You've attached emotional meaning to something that now appears to be creating a block in you being able to be honest with yourself. Okay, Scorpio? So I think this contemplation exercise that initiated last week continues this week, and you're discovering that it's going to be difficult for you to be honest with yourself until you release your attachment to this situation. The emotional attachment must be released. Top of mind for you is self-sacrifice. You're wondering who was sacrificing, you or this other party. I think this conversation, I feel, is with another person. I feel like Scorpio needs to have a chat with someone about some stuff that went on in the past, and that you're looking for some answers either from yourself or from this other individual so that you can heal. You want to let this go, right? Scorpio, you want to let this go. You want to move on, but you're going to need to be flexible with whatever meaning you've attached here, because it's interesting. The thing driving your reading is this transformation that you have probably recently been feeling. You know, you're going through a new emotional place. You are transforming with respect to the idea of self-sacrifice. You're becoming more aware of how to bring things in and how to renew the emotions around things, right? How to give life to something new is very, very much part of what's driving this. I can't help but feel like for some Scorpios that they may be actually giving birth, and that is what brought about this big change, is the idea of having a child, you know, being a mother or a father to a child, and sort of the introspection that goes along with that, the self-evaluation that we might do as we become parents, to say, you know, was I imbalanced before? Did I attach too much meaning to something? Was I lying to myself about that? You know, perhaps you had an expected outcome that became the impetus for you to sort of be in self-denial, Scorpio. It's a very interesting set of messages that you're receiving here. Regardless of how it happened, you are being asked to sort of think more in a more flexible way that's open and more free. And focusing on the abundance, not the lack, right? Not the lack of abundance, not the idea that you only take, but that you give because you have, right? You're abundant in all things. Now, the past involved you receiving a lot of sort of acclamation and external validation. Okay, so in the recent past, you were highly favored by the external world, and you were given a lot of praise, and perhaps that praise created some self-denial. Who knows? But there was a lot of acknowledgement of you from the external world. But you know what? In the future, it's almost like you are choosing to see things in a lens of lack or loss. Again, which I think is why you're being pointed back to abundance and being open, because I feel like this is a reflection of like maybe you have fallen out of favor with your audience, okay? And now you see what was so much recognition. Now you're like, oh, I've lost that. But have you, or has the meaning behind needing external validation changed? That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that your need for external validation is no more. And so it's up to you whether or not you perceive that as a loss, depending on how much meaning you've attached to it here. You know, I think some of our Scorpios listening maybe have attached too much meaning to needing external validation, and in the face of not having it, it's become a situation where they're not sure what to do. Perhaps you have 2 6s here. You've got the 6 of Pentacles and the 6 of Wands, which is a time, you know, together that says to me, you're questioning your motives about why you were doing stuff. Why were you being generous? Were you being generous to receive acknowledgement? Or were you being generous just because you felt like you're abundant and you want to share and you want to bring unity into the picture? You know what I mean? It's very, very interesting. I just had to pause there to plug in the camera. It was on its last life there. So, Scorpio, the feeling I'm getting here is all around a conversation that either requires more thought or you're ready to go. You're just waiting on the answers. And you see this as being a situation where you will heal something that has been on your mind. It has been on your mind and it needs your attention right now because you're really being guided to bring love into the situation. And I think that love is directed right at you. You need to love yourself, regardless of what was going on in the past here, where maybe external validation was really important, and moving forward, not having that external validation and still feeling like you can move forward and feel pleasure and freedom. Perhaps you will feel more freedom because you won't be such a part of the public eye, you know, but I feel like you have to reconcile that with yourself because of the meaning you've attached to that. Right? There is some meaning attached here. Your inner dialogue is one of a brand new initiation. Something has been initiated within you to start something brand new. And that's why this is a time of healing, because you are on a new path. You can even see this beautiful path in this card, the pleasure card. I feel like you are on a new path, and this is your way of closing out the past. This is your way of closing out the past before you start something brand new with this Page of Wands and this Page of Cups. 2 pages. You are starting something brand new, Scorpio. I feel like it could involve being a parent, having a child, and sort of reevaluating your priorities, reevaluating where you've attached meaning. And it's interesting. It's interesting. I feel like you're being guided to being open to releasing your attachments on the external world and releasing your belief of loss and lack, because it is just a perception. You know, if you see redirections and shifts as opportunities, then you wouldn't see it as a loss. You'd see it as an opportunity. But right now, your focus is that there has been a loss here. There has been a loss here, and you're trying to understand why. You're looking for some answers, and they're coming. They're coming because you've been seeking, and what you're seeking is seeking you. Now, your outer dialogue is much more of the King of Cups here. King of Cups is Scorpio energy, okay? This is the Scorpio card, and that's you right now. You are outwardly expressing yourself. You are authentically expressing yourself in a way that is drama free. I always think of the King of Cups as being able to sort of be amongst all of the emotional turbulence that occurs in life, but doesn't get involved, doesn't allow himself to take it personally, doesn't internalize the drama around him, but is a very loving king, very empathic, very compassionate, but doesn't get involved in the drama, right? Can see above that, can ride those emotional waves and sort of be the judge, right? To tell the guide, to sort of see the truth, right? Can see the truth past all the emotions. And I feel like that's where you're at right now, Scorpio. You're truly stepping into yourself with that King of Cups here. But you're anxious and sort of wanting but anxious about this idea, King of Wands, about connecting your vision to the external world. The King of Wands is represented by a more fiery element, which is Leo. So it's really talking about your confidence in yourself. And that's where I feel like you have hopes and fears, is that you hope you have the confidence to have this communication and to heal and to bring love into the situation and to express this new Page of Wands energy that you feel, this inspiration that you feel towards a new beginning, one that I feel has to do with perhaps a child, but it could just be a phase of your life where you're more connected to what you really resonate with and you're wanting to express that. Whereas I think before it was a different set of reasons. I think before it was for external validation, whereas now you're just speaking your truth, you're acting your truth, you're expressing your truth creatively, but you're also a little gun shy. You're feeling a little bit like, oh, am I going to be able to do this? And I think you are. You are going to be able to do this. You just need to bring love into this situation, loving of the self, being open and flexible, releasing these meaningful outcomes, these expected outcomes that you've attached so much meaning to, releasing the need for external validation, shifting that lack mindset into one that's more abundant. There's so much here for you, Scorpio. Now, your final outcome is the Knight of Swords, which suggests get ready. Get ready for some big changes in your life. The daily pattern of your life is about to suddenly shift. You're used to sudden shifts being a Scorpio. The Knight of Swords represents a Gemini energy, which is also related to the Lovers, which speaks about sort of these choices that we make to connect and to be vulnerable. And so I always think of the Knight of Swords as you saying, I declare this is a new day. And I am marching in and I am shifting. I am a shifting Scorpio. I'm shifting my energies. You're not shifty, but your energy is one of shifting. You are ready to make some changes here, and you're being guided to get ready for these changes as well, because they are incoming. They are incoming. Bottom of the deck is the Devil. Again, here you are being reminded to always question your motives and your intentions. Are they ego driven or are they spirit driven? Are they coming from this Page of Wands, or are they coming from your ego that has this perception of loss and lack? Which is it, right? Like, it's a very interesting place that Scorpio finds themselves right now doing this evaluation. You could also be dealing with a Capricorn with that Devil card coming up. Now, to close your reading, let's see what your Oracle card was from the beginning here. You received Epsilon modulation. Okay, this is a new deck for me, so I'm going to read to you directly from the guidebook. This is card 28. Let's see here. I find the messages from this Oracle deck to be written so beautifully. So I will read to you right from the book. This card says, gather your energies and go within to regenerate. Exactly. More meditation and contemplation. Let your actions match your inner rhythms. King of Wands, Page of Wands. Yes. Rather than trying to force yourself to keep pace with external cues. Six of Wands. Absolutely. The external validation, right? You don't need to keep up with that. Sorry, I keep interrupting myself. As you ground and connect to your center, you will realize your spiritual power to be at the cause of any situation of concern. You have such goodness and light within you. Let go of shaming and blaming. Yes, embrace the spiritual beauty within. Reaching inspired spiritual heights requires commitment to developing powerful, deep roots. Absolutely. This is really resonating with the rest of your reading, okay, with respect to regenerating bliss from a place of spiritual emptiness, which is, I really feel, where Scorpio is coming from. The greater perspective you find can bring tremendous peace. I feel like that is exactly what's happening. This oracle asks you to put your faith in the spiritual power of your path. Dedicate yourself to your personal development and seek out the loving presence of those upon the earth and in spirit who nurture your heart and protect your soul. Wow. Scorpio, yeah, you've got to love yourself into healing here. That's bring loving energy into this healing as you dive deep to understand your spiritual self more. I love the way it says here that you're going to release the shaming and blaming and embrace the spiritual beauty within, to let your actions match your inner rhythms rather than forcing yourself to keep the pace with external cues. This is really a time where Scorpio is releasing the need for external validation, assessing their motives, loving themselves, healing, and embracing a brand new path that is really connected to spirit. Oh boy, awesome reading for you, Scorpio. I am so excited to see what the following week will bring. Wow. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. If this has resonated and you would like a personal reading, you can find my email in the description below. And as always, thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and watching. And we'll see you again very soon for another reading. Sending you lots of love and light, my friends.